If Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump don't meet in the coming days as reported by the Kremlin, Ukraine will face a very bad situation, a Germany-based political analyst said on Friday. Klemens Fischer, professor for International Relations and Geopolitics at Cologne University and a former member of Austria's EU embassy in Brussels, called a Trump-Putin meeting the biggest chance in years to find at least kind of an exit from the war raging in Ukraine. According to Fischer, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky will not be at the table this time, which is possibly even an advantage because Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin will meet on the same level, at least the level they see themselves. On Zelensky, Fischer said, he needed to pray to the Lord that Mr. Trump will be a good, honest broker for the Ukrainian cause, which means that he takes what he can for the Ukrainians and then sell it to Zelensky.
So far as we can see, there will be a meeting between Putin and Trump for the first time in the presidency of Trump this time. And if these two meet, it would be the biggest chance since years to find at least kind of an exit for the war raging in Ukraine. Because Mr. Trump needs at least something. He can sell at home as the peacemaker and the international president he always wants to be. And for Mr. Putin, it will be the biggest chance since years to show that he is not waging war against Ukrainians, but he simply wants to clear the ground of Ukrainian forces in Donbass. So it's an equal chance for both of them. And as far as concerned Ukrainians, Mr. Zelensky will not be at the table at this time, which is possibly even an advantage because Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin will meet on the same level, at least the level they see themselves. And Zelensky isn't at that level for both of them. And secondly, he might of course intervene if he is at the table. So he can simply pray to the Lord that Mr. Trump will be a good, honest broker for the Ukrainian cause, which means that he takes what he can for the Ukrainians and then they must sell it to Zelensky. Either he takes it or he leaves. But if he does leave without taking it, I do think this is one of the mega chances he will have overplayed them. Mr. Putin has no reason currently to go to the table because the Russians are, militarily spoken, certainly in a very good advantage. So what he does is he's pleasing Mr. Trump because he doesn't want any sanctions against his own partners or against Russia, and he wants to come back on the table of the big. If this meeting next week does not take place, we at least are confronted with a very bad situation for Ukraine because it does mean that the Russian offensive goes on from the air and on the ground, which does mean that the cities will be bombed every single night, as long as the Russians have the drones and the means for that, which they do have. For the Americans, in particular Mr. Trump, it does mean that he can't go home with the laureate and say, I brought peace to Ukraine, and which does mean that he has to do something now against Russia, which he tries to avoid since his presidency. And it does mean that he has to strike against the partners of Russia, which is mainly China and India and even South Africa, and all three already told him we don't care about that, which does mean that in particular the trade policy of the US will be at least shattered against three big partners. For the Europeans it does mean that they have to pay even more because then the war will rage on, the war will go on, and the Europeans have to support it because they have promised so. So this is the worst case for all parties in this war if this meeting does not take place.
Kremlin aide Yuri Ushakov said on Thursday, Russia and the U.S. had agreed to hold a Putin-Trump summit in the coming days.